Kia ora. Hello. Good evening. Here in New Zealand. My name is Madeline Lee. I'm from Ride Your Stigma. Please let me know if you are here with me today. Just giving you a heads up. We have a lot of emotions and a lot of energy flowing today. So if today is not the right day for you, or you're sensitive, or you've got a lot on your plate at the moment, or you just don't want to hear it, you're not in the space to hear about the clearing the dark and calling back your own power and energy, I do ask you to please pause or swipe out of the live stream today and come back when you feel supported and protected and grounded and loved. So I have my beautiful candle with me here today. It's been a little while since we've been live. So much shifting and so much moving. So much sticking and needing detaching from. I felt called today to come and share. I don't think I've shared about this experience before, but feel called to share it today. Because I feel like there may be some beauty in it, some golden nuggets that people may be able to relate to, or may be able to take from this in their own situations, around energy work, protecting ourselves, clearing our energy, calling our own power back, calling our own soul back to our body, calling ourselves back to ourselves. I feel like there is something here to share that may be able to help people when they go through purges that aren't their own, or when you're clearing layers of deep stuff that is collective or connected to us or latched onto us along our journey, or maybe it is shadow parts of us that have risen. And sometimes it's okay, like right now when I say that, I'm even confused of the stuff that I'm purging and moving through. Some of it's definitely not mine, and then some of it I'm like, that's a piece of me. So anyway, again, if you are here today joining me, feel free to say kia ora and hello. If it is your first time here, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome into this beautiful space. I want to tell a story today about an experience. You can tell that I'm not all here today as I look away from the screen, and probably by my eyes as well, if you have actually, I suppose, experienced looking into someone's eyes when their eyes are really lit up by their soul and their soul's really in their body, or if you've experienced someone being really vacant, like there is something or someone else within someone's body at that time. And I have all this week, actually, it's just come to my realization, been purging and detoxing and removing stuff from my energy and my body. And it's brought up a lot of different things for me. I've had a lot of really, really, really raging anger this week that I didn't quite understand at first. In an aspect I did understand, because there was layers and layers and layers stacked from some situations in my life. But on top of that, there is some really ingrained kind of generational societal layers that have like stacked underneath it, a lot around male experiences. I'm trying to call them that rather than male hate, but I don't know what the words are to describe it. And sometimes I find it hard, so please feel free to spit some words out there if you have some wonderful describing words and you can feel what I'm talking about. I did write a post earlier this week asking for some recommendations of entrepreneurs and male leaders and inspiring powerful men that walk in their truth, to try and work on the layers within me internally, to work on bettering my relationship with that and melting away the conditioning or the belief systems within me from my past experiences in this lifetime, and I assume some more layers from other past lives and different things like that as well. Where are we going with this, Bad? Yeah, so there's been a lot of that rage come up as well, a lot of experiences, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of examples of just people in general in life that do these things. I'm going to share some of my frustrations or some of my pains and angers and shadows and belief systems that have been coming up around that with me and my relationship with males. It's interesting because I have some really, really incredible males in my life and support people, friends, and things like that. But there is this ingraining within me somewhere of these belief systems or magnetizations that have kind of solidified or like concreted into my being and my energy that I have been working on but needed a lot more work, and I am working through them at the moment. But some examples of these, so that it's a little bit clearer for you guys, is lying, cheating, disrespecting, no communication, being deceiving. As I go on, people use the words as gaslighting or narcissism stuff. I don't like labels that much, but labels can help us to, I actually don't like them at all, but but they can help us to describe and understand situations and things and learnings in our lives. And these are some words that other people have shared with me. And I suppose the piles or stacks and layers of different situations and happenings and events in my life, in my personal life, and also what I see external to my own direct individual life. But when I look around me, so often I hear of so many people with no father figures, and so many people, and of course that can happen with the opposite sex or whatever identity you are as well. So when I say this, I'm saying it from my own experience, and I know that it's not just one-sided, but this is something that I'm working on opening and something that I am working on moving through, because I know there's some ingraining in me of frustration and rage towards situations and events with males in my life, or not directly with me, but clients or friends or people around me that I witness, and cheating and lying and deceiving and not following through, and abandonment is huge for me. Absolutely huge, and really, 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 really big on emotional. And it's interesting, I'm sitting here, I've just done some huge meditation stuff, just done an entity removal meditation and some shadow work and an inner child this evening because I really, really needed it. But I'm sitting in my little old cold house alone, feeling really, 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 really alone. You know, when we just feel so alone and so abandoned, but we have so much around us as well. But it's an internal feeling. It's something that we have perceived, made up, and maybe not even negatively like made up, but we've made those belief systems up within us due to whatever experiences we've had as children or in past lives, or in our teenhood, or when we were a baby. As my back starts to hurt. So where was I going with that whatever beliefs we've made up inside, or it's not a negative like we made it up, it's just we have created these beliefs and these feelings and these perceptions and these wounds, if you want to call it that, or these growths and learnings. And for me, abandonment is so huge. I've been realizing lately that I've done a lot of abandonment healing in the last, let's say, 18 months. And I've really improved. I've really sat with it, and I've really moved some stuff, and I've really built a relationship with my inner child more, and my feelings of abandonment and how I react or respond in times when I feel the abandonment rise and boil within me. And it's so interesting now that after the stuff I've just purged out this evening, how gentle my voice is and how soft she is right now. Because 4 days ago I was not soft. I was a Hulk. And I was really angry, slamming doors, really angry this week, slamming doors and stomping my feet, and really needed to yell and scream. Didn't know it at the time and was really reactive in my emotions. And as I sat with them, it was because I felt safety, and I felt dishonesty in some relationships around me, and I felt it building up and piling up. Big dissafety and abandonment. Have I said that enough times? So I've gone way off track of why I wanted to come live, but we trust that because it's intuitive. If you're just joining us, feel free to say kia ora and hello. I would love to know that you are here. If anything is landing for you, feel free to share. I welcome your opinions and your thoughts, or your landings and your messages. So yeah, why did I come on? Well, let's come back. That I wanted to share, I suppose, depending on where you are in your spiritual journey and your healing journey. So interesting looking at myself in the camera. My eyes are so not my eyes at the moment. I was just talking about, hello Shona. Thank you for being here. If you look into my eyes right now, if you have any intuitive knowing, you'll probably be able to see that it's not really my soul today. Within my eyes. I was just talking about this at the start of the live stream, that you can tell when someone is shining bright in their soul through their eyes, and if they are present in their body, if their soul is present in their body, or if someone or something else is within the body at that time and needs to be cleared. So anyway, I suppose I'm repeating myself, guys, but it keeps coming up for me, so I'm just going to trust it and share it. But the point of me coming on today was to share a bit of an experience. Obviously, I'm going through some big purging stuff at the moment, and some shadow work and some entity clearing and some big stuff with my big friend candle, bringing me light. But there was an experience that happened. It was just before all the lockdowns, ever the first, like, oh no, was it the first? No, jokes. It was when I lived back in Auckland, so it must have maybe been 2 years ago now, maybe 1.5 years ago. I was working for a nanny family in central Auckland, and it does relate to what I'm going through now. I can't exactly share with you everything that I'm going through right now, because I'm not all the way through it and I'm still moving through it, but it's brought up this memory of this situation that I feel that could support others to learn how to protect their own energy deeper and more consciously, because I lost myself 4 days ago. Well, I lost my soul and she really floated away, and I forgot some of my practices that I've needed to come back to in the last 2 days, which is a beautiful reminder that I have these skills, but it's time to share them deeper so that other people can also learn to use them, so that when we are purging or wailing or crying or feeling and surging through dark shit, whether it's our own shadows or other people's stuff from past versions of ourselves, of our generations, or we've just had someone else's or multiple other people's energies and stuff just cling to us. Often it's not on purpose, it just happens. Then we can have more skills to work through this. So anyway, I was working for a nanny family in central Auckland. They went away for a week or so and got me to house sit in their beautiful home in the middle of Auckland. I went there to house sit, had a cat to feed. It was a lovely house, made coffee in the morning, yummy food. I was creating, it was back when I first created my 4-day program and my 3-day program. So my very first kind of own creations of programs. So I think I was doing that at the time as well, and I remember dancing, because obviously I was into my dancing, and I was dancing and moving and moved all the couches out of the way and was dancing around in front of the fire by myself, and it was really, really beautiful. And I don't even know, I can't even remember, maybe there is no remembrance of an actual snap point or something that actually happened. But over the course of the time staying there at that house, I got into a really, really down low, like a depressive low, really, really dark, really angry. And interesting enough, it's just dropped in now. I've had similar relationship stuff happen then as I am now. In my personal life, really, really angry outbursts and outbursts of control and fear and just safety from my abandonment. Very similar, but it's just dropped in now. So I had a lot of anger raging through me while I was there, and so I tried to angry dance it out, and it wasn't going anywhere. I was getting angrier and angrier, and I had like this hatred raging through my body, like so Hulk, like blind angry, like really, really, like not me, like it was not me. It was not my soul. My soul was not in my body. Someone else was there, or someone else had come into my body and my space. And the emotions were more just than my own. Almost like maybe they were triggered by, yes, my reality relationships and my physical reality humanness experience. Yes, there was real emotion there for many real, important, valid reasons. But it's like that was like the opening door to it kind of happening, if that makes sense. And I'm wondering, there's a lot more to what's going on this week with me. So anyway, there was some, I even messaged one of my friends saying, I'm scared, I just want to smash my head against the wall. That's how angry I am. I just want to punch myself in the head. I just don't want to be on the earth. And that I wasn't in a depressed way. I wasn't in a low space in my life. I had really come through, well, not all, but I'd really come through like the real sticky shit. I knew how to go with the waves enough by that time in my life to know that this is shit or this is a down, but I wasn't like, oh, I don't want to be here. But that's what my emotion, it was almost like there's a conflict of a fighting of two parts, or someone else's part or thing within my body with my soul stuff all combined or clung on. And I just got angrier and angrier. I could have smashed something. I was scared that I could have killed someone. That's how angry I was. I was like, if anyone comes in my way, I'm gonna fucking kill them. I was so angry. I couldn't even understand what was going on. I almost felt like I'd lost it in my mind, or I can't, it's hard to describe, but if you've experienced something like it and just thought you were losing your mind and then really realized, was this all mine, and really sat with it once you'd found a way to kind of move through it and really sat with it and go, is this even mine? Was this all mine, or was this some mine? And then has other bits clung to me from other people, other energies, other souls, past souls, entities, if you want to call them that, whatever you want to call it. And so anyway, something clung to me. And back then when I had that situation, it was, I thought I was going to die. I really didn't, I don't know why. I couldn't really understand it. I just was panicking. I was just panicking, and I was alone. Again, interesting enough, abandonment. I called my girlfriend and talked to her about what was going on for me. It was just before I had discovered my spiritual healer and stepped into my intuitive healing stuff. So at this stage and phase of my life, I had no fucking idea about the things I do now. I had no idea about, I would have laughed if you said the word entity to me back then. I would have been like, oh, fuck off, whatever. Because back then I had no awareness of the things that I've come to learn in the last 18 months to 2 years. So anyway, through this I knew that it was bad, but I felt like someone had taken over my body. I felt like this stuff was not mine, and I didn't know how to get out, and there was no one to come and be with me. And tried to ask a few people. I even messaged my father, and I asked my father what my granddad was like. My granddad, I'm not even totally sure if I met my granddad maybe once when I was a baby, but he took his own life, either when I was not born or maybe a very little baby, on my father's side. And I messaged my dad. All I remember learning as a child about my granddad was that he took his own life. He had really beautiful eyes, and there was a couple of photos that I'd seen of my granddad. Curly hair, always working really hard. And for some reason, the perception that I created as a child or a person from the very, very little that I have been told about my granddad and know about my granddad is, for some reason, I perceived that he was grumpy. I don't know why, I don't know where. I don't think my mum or dad or any family have ever told me that he was grumpy. But maybe that's my intuitive telling me something, or maybe he was grumpy at something, or grumpy at himself, or other things in his life. Anyway, so I knew, and I still do now, not know much about my granddad, but in that situation where I was really, really angry and I felt like I was holding someone else's stuff, I did text my father, and for the first time actually ask. I just said, oh, hey Dad, was Granddad a really grumpy, angry man? What was he like? Was he really angry? Was he really grumpy? And I don't exactly remember what my dad even said back. I think maybe he said something like, I think he said something like, oh, I don't think so. Something else. It was very short. And obviously it's not important. But anyway, from that moment, I then realised, and it's interesting how we doubt our intuition because we've learnt so much conditioning of like doubt it, or you're crazy, or you're just imagining that, or that's just because you think, or that's just a coincidence. And now that I think about it, I'm like, no, there's like those parts of me doubting, oh no, Maddie, it couldn't be granddad. But no, yeah, it was my granddad there, or there was a piece or part or emotion or energy of some sort, that it is not a coincidence that he came up in my intuition and my thought patterns while that was going on. It was connected to him in some way or form. So anyway, back to why we are sharing today. So anyway, I couldn't shake it. I tried to scream and stomp my feet out on the grass and ground and get my energy out and dance really angrily. Nothing was shifting it. And then luckily at the house I was staying at, there was a big beautiful bath, so I ran a bath, and I had some beautiful lights with me, so I put the lights on and a candle, and I lay in the bath, and I just absolutely cried. I did a post today about crying. Interesting when we like level up in our own self through our healing and our spirituality, how our crying patterns and our emotion patterns change and transform and fold and move and end up very, very different than they used to be, because I've just had almost like a 3.5 month block. Shona says, I believe if that comes up intuitively, then it is. Yes, baby, it is. I believe in that too. Where were we? Oh yeah, crying. Yeah, for 3.5 months, I didn't really cry. Like, there were some things that I was like, some things just in my daily life, you know, when normally certain things would make you teary-eyed, or the tears start to bubble and roll down our face, roll down our face. And the last 3.5 months now, from the current now, I've been thinking, like, I've heard certain news about certain different things. I'm like, normally I would just burst into tears about that, or I would cry, or I'd be really emotional with that, or I'd be like really erratic, or like really lost and really not knowing and really unstable on my feet in terms of my emotions. And then all of a sudden YouTube ads, go away. And then all of a sudden, crying, that's where I was. This week, just last week, I was like, oh, why have I not been crying? Is it weird? Have something gone on wrong? Like, what? Like, have I lost all my emotion? Even I was like, I love crying about happy things, about seeing people celebrate, about seeing people in love, about seeing people heal, not just about the hard, negative, challenging, grieving, sad, sorrow things, but about all things. Like, quite love crying, and I was like, fuck, like, why can't I cry? I've never been able to not cry in my whole life. But realizing that, I think as I mature in my own emotional mastery and understanding and connection within my spirituality and my emotions, it's starting to shift and change. Then I had a beautiful Intuitive Women's Circle on Friday that I hosted with our beautiful friend Shona was there. And then we had some beautiful conversations over the weekend, and then I had some really, really deep journaling, and then I went to a breathwork session on Sunday with my beautiful friend, and holy shit, then the anger rose. And then when I've been crying, so I'm talking about crying when I was back in the bath, so we're jumping around the place, but I think you can follow. And if you're struggling to follow, then you're not meant to hear it. It's fine. Come back and listen another day. So tears, that's what we're referring to. Crying in the bath and crying this week. So crying this week, like, I literally, it's like a waterfall. No dramatized. Like, literally, I'm like, how did that much water just come out? Water or tears or magical juice just came out of my eyes. When I just had it, I was just like, how? How did it finally release? But it was literally like pouring all over my sweatshirt, all over my bed. and such release when it's meant to be released for that certain thing or situation or grieving or gratitude or whatever the beautiful thing is that is wanting to be released. And I want to say, when we're going back to when I was in the bath with that other situation, that it was the same kind of tears, except I was not aware of it. Thinking back to it now, and I lay in the bath, I was kind of crying, not howling, but crying, moaning, crying with sound in the bath. And I remember freaking out, thinking, fuck, am I gonna die? And I didn't even know what I was scared of. I was just like, fuck, am I gonna die? That's how dark I felt. I was like, oh, like, fuck, am I just gonna die? I think I'm gonna die. I'm really, really fucking scared. Like, that's the kind of state I was in. I was like, oh my God. Like, but it wasn't dramatic. It was like, I fully felt unsafe. I fully felt not myself. So I was messaging a couple of friends to just try and feel safe, and gave one of them a call, and then got off the phone from them, and then lay in the bath, just looking at the lights on the roof of the bath. And one of the strongest skills, or what do you want to call it, a skill, technique, practice, thing that has helped me get through times like that, which I didn't even know. No one taught me. No one ever told me. Yes, it is a common practice, but I'd never come across it or consciously. But I just lay in the bath with the water, trying to cleanse myself, and just lay in the bath, just saying, Madeline Lee Thompson, where are you? Madeline Lee Thompson, come back to me now. That part I have definitely been taught from other people, which was very, very potent. But a thing that was never taught to me, that I knew so certainly that I really needed to do, was sitting in the bath just saying, this is not my energy, this is not mine, this is not mine, I did not ask for this, please return this back to the person that it belongs to, this is not my energy, this is not my trauma, this is not my baggage, no, thank you, this is not mine, I return this back to where it came from. And I just lay in the bath for maybe a good 20 minutes, just repeating that out loud, really, really loudly. And I remember saying, thank you, but this is not mine, and talking to my granddad in a sense of, thank you, but this is not mine, you can have it back now, you can have it back now. So the power of words and intention, full intention in your emotion, to really return someone's energy back to them, that is not mine, that energy is not mine, that stuff is not mine, that negativity, that purge, whatever it is, the baggage, the trauma, the wound, it is not mine, no thank you, no thank you. That is not mine. You can have it back now. And then I sat there and cried for like another 35 minutes. Which I've just had to do something very similar this evening in my energy after this really, really big week of purging and dark energy, if you want to call it, negativity, anger, really deep emotion, really raging emotion, really even hatredful emotions that have gone through my body that are not mine, that have not been mine, but maybe have been opened by my reality situations that are going on in my personal life at the moment. I feel is the opening of when we feel down in our emotions, or we're purging through something, we're moving through something. As my voice kind of cracks in, it opens us. It's almost like we're a little bit vulnerable. There's little holes in our little protection or our shield, or when we're down and we're feeling confused and all of the emotions are surging and things, then it almost allows us to open to other energies, entities, different things that are not ours, that can just layer on top of it, and then we can get really complicated and really confused of where are we going and what's happening and what's happening. Am I going insane? Because I felt a little bit like that this week. A little bit like that knowing all well in my truth and in my heart that this is only natural. But at the same time, a feeling of, I almost want to say insanity, but I need to look up the definition. Because I'm like, what's the actual definition of insanity? But feeling like a crazy person, feeling erratic, feeling out of control, really, really out of control, and really, really purgy. But my big share, or my big point of today, guys, is protecting and clearing your energy. So, and now myself is like, yeah, and some other things. The biggest share I wanted to share today is the potency and the power of your voice and the intention behind it and the real power and feeling behind it. When you feel like there is someone else's energy encompassing you, on you, like this on you, sucking you. Sucking you or gobbling you up, really, really using really powerful, stern, certain, full, as my voice fucking cracks then, look at that, powerful, certain, so, what's the word, certain, so concrete, like unwavering power in your voice of saying, no, this is not mine, I return this to where it came from. No, thank you, this is not mine. I'm calling myself back now. Madeline Lee Thompson, please come back to me now. Madeline Lee Thompson, please come back to me now. Madeline Lee Thompson, please come back to me now. Please come back to me now. Over and over and over again is one of the biggest, most powerful tools that I have used to move myself through the glogginess. All I can picture is like black gloggy tar right now, like so that is my big reminder today. There is definitely so many different ways you can work on clearing and protecting your energy as well, to prevent that even coming into your space, which obviously we all learn in our different ways, but for me also having beautiful candlelight around me sounds really cliche or really simple, but having beautiful candlelight around me when I am feeling in these ways is something, you know, when you're in a dark space or you're in a negative, complaining, hard space and people say to you, oh Maddie, it's fine, just be positive, it'll be over soon. Or like if I say to someone, it's okay, I'm here for you, you're not alone, and then the inner rage inside you is like, what the fuck, you're not here fucking for me, because we're just in this pain, we're in this pain body, we're in this like pain cycle of negativity, like and it's just like That's the only way I can explain it with the emotions. When we are in that space, we don't want to hear the nice little fairy things of sometimes we do, but sometimes we don't want to hear all that. It's going to be okay, but someone else will love you, or we just don't want to hear it. It just actually triggers us more, and our pain body goes wah! And kind of outbursts more, because we're like, well, it's not fine, do I fucking look fine? Because we don't feel fine in that moment. And yes, that is our drama parts of ourselves, or valid victim parts of ourselves. But my point is, so when we can't use words to reaffirm or support someone or ourselves, because they're actually more triggering than helpful, something as beautiful and simple as candlelight can be calming and not trigger us. The candlelight can never trigger me for some reason. When you're going through dark purges and detoxes and calling yourself back and all of those things, another beautiful thing is just sitting or standing in the bottom of your shower, whether it's hot or cold or whatever. If you do like the ocean and waterfalls, just going and sitting in it and crying in it. There has been one day that I spent like 2 hours in the ocean just sitting on my knees in like shallow water, just allowing the waves to wash over me while I was boiling boiling my eyes out. As the waves come in and out, it's almost like the waves come in and take some of it away, and then like peel the layers away and move it away, and it's washing away and it moves away. But the shower is a really good one. At the moment, the shower lasts like 5 minutes for me. Like, it clears, but it doesn't clear. It's almost like a superficial clear at the moment. What else? You've got your beautiful herbs and woods and things that we light and burn. We've got incense and Palo Santo and sage and all of the beautiful bitsies. Definitely opening all the windows in your house, and allowing the energy to actually go out, and move it out. Opening all the windows so that the energy can actually move out of your space, and physically actually going around even, and using your hands like I am now, so like pushing all the energy away from your space, saying no thank you, this is not mine. I'm clearing my space intentionally. There was one other one I was going to share. Oh, vacuuming, like physically vacuuming. So we physical vacuum. So you can either physical vacuum or like physical wash the dishes or clean your space and tidy up and organize, or also meditation or visualize closing your eyes down, and envisioning, oh, have I got this archangel right? Archangel Michael? It's either Michael or Raphael. Michael, sorry if I've got you confused. With his vacuum, cleaning up space, as well, and definitely asking for guidance and support from your guides, your angels, your archangels, your creatures, your beings, and always making sure that you ask them for support with 100% light, because sometimes there can be things that try and almost fake it, so just always adding 100% light. So Archangel Michael of 100% light, can you please support me through this, as well. It's so interesting because I wasn't going to come on live, and I nearly didn't, and I feel so much better after sharing. Isn't that amazing? So anyway, guys, I think I'm going to jump off. I'm going to go pick up my supermarket shopping, and I'm going to have some dinner. But I'm sending you all love, and I hope that if something lands for you here and you go, aha, yeah, that really makes sense, or you want to share something, please do. If you are watching the replay, feel free to put a hashtag Ride Your Stigma or hashtag Madeline Lee, so that I know that you are here and that you are stepping into the space. Would love to hear if anything landed for you or has come through for you. I love you all, and I will see you again soon. Thank you.